For as long as I can remember, there was this sense of bewilderment with people looking at our family and just seeing all of us lined up in red dresses, you know, out at wherever, and are they all yours?
We're the Duggars.
Jill Duggar Dillard, nicknamed Sweet Jilly Muffin by her family, lived a seemingly idyllic life as the fourth child of Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar, stars of the hit TLC reality series 19 Kids and Counting.
Okay, everybody, it is time for breakfast.
The conservative Christian and ever-expanding family, a source of fascination for their strict rules on modest dressing, homeschooling, and courting. But now, Jill and her husband Derek Dillard say that wholesome veneer masked a damaging culture of control.
Even if you're an adult, even if you've been an adult for a long time, you're married with kids, if your parents don't give their blessing, then you're not honoring them.
And the family becoming embroiled in scandal.
What's it like to know that your parents were protecting your abuser?
The couple now discussing what they say cameras didn't capture in their book, Counting the Cost.
What were the costs in the way that you took account of them?
Biggest one is relationships, closeness in relationships with my family. That's been one of the biggest costs.
Millions of fans watched as Jill grew from a teen on 19 Kids and Counting to a wife and mom, starring in a namesake show, Jill and Jessa Counting On, appearing on multiple covers of People magazine. Jill's courtship with her now husband Derek was a central plot line in the family's reality show, the couple following strict dating rules, having chaperones, limited touching, and no kissing.
You had courtship rules. What struck you as odd, if any of it?
It was unusual. I wasn't used to being 25 and having to have someone with me at all times.
Derek dipped me for my kiss.
Their very first kiss was on their wedding day, a ratings bonanza with TLC's cameras rolling.
What was that like, being told your wedding is going to be on TV?
I was very much conditioned to it by then.
But the night before their wedding, the couple say Jim Bob surprised his 23-year-old daughter with the signature page of this contract, which committed her to years of filming, and she says she unwittingly signed.
You write in the book that you felt that your father, quote, tricked you into signing a contract the night before your wedding.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do. I feel like I was tricked into it.
Derek, you're a lawyer. You referred to this contract as a fraud.
I think the biggest thing was it was a contract we wouldn't have agreed to based on the terms that were given.
The 2014 contract detailing payments to the family, starting at $50,000 per half-hour episode and $65,000 for hour-long specials. Jill says the money was controlled by her father.
The idea that you weren't paid and yet your wedding attracted 4.4 million viewers. You were, in many ways, the stars of the show.
Yeah, even the show soon after that was named Jill and Jessa Counting On, and we still weren't seeing income, even at that point.
Jill filmed over 200 episodes and 24 specials with her family, but she says she never received a paycheck until she and Derek confronted Jim Bob about it.
You write openly you got a check for $175,000, but in many ways, the revenue you generated, one could argue, was considerably more than that.
Yes.
Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar, devoted followers of the Institute in Basic Life Principles, a fundamentalist Christian order that promotes strict purity and control in gender roles, where the family must obey the father.
We believe in honoring our parents. We're Christians, but we don't believe honoring is the same as obedience.
The Institute organizing family conferences like this one in Big Sandy, Texas, reinforcing their faith and values. Nightline was there in 2011. So were the Duggars.
Long time no see.
At the time, the eldest Duggar child, Josh, had been married for 3 years.
There's many different definitions of courtship, but for us, it meant really choosing purity, choosing to wait for a lot of things that people would take for granted. So our first kiss was on our wedding day.
Just 4 years later, Josh acknowledged he molested 5 girls when he was just 14, including 4 of his sisters. Jill says she told authorities about the abuse. Josh never faced charges. 19 Kids and Counting, the show that made the family a fortune, was canceled after the shocking headlines came to light. Tasked with damage control, Jill says she and her sister Jessa felt they had to give an interview to Fox News to protect the family brand.
It was like, okay, we need you to fall in line here and do these interviews for the show, go here, do this thing and that thing to kind of rally the troops and get it back together.
Jess and I were talking, we're like, oh my goodness, most of the stuff out there is lies. It's not truth. And so for truth's sake, we want to come out and set the record straight.
I was surprised to read that Josh was in the room.
Yeah.
Off camera.
Yeah.
What do you see in that 24-year-old girl who's talking?
I didn't want to be there. I wanted to help my parents, and I felt like I was the only one who could do this. I was the only one who could fill that role.
TLC kept the lucrative Duggar franchise going without Josh, launching that new series called Jill and Jessa, Counting On. But Derek and Jill say they wanted to start their own lives, free from the television cameras.
When we weren't complying with the Jill and Jessa script, it was threatened to us, like, do you all want to come home and everyone to know that this show is canceled because of you?
Jill also says small acts of independence, such as wearing pants and getting a nose ring, were met with hostility.
Anyone who is making decisions for themselves that the parents don't give their blessing, that's seen as rebellious.
Eventually, the couple stopped filming altogether, breaking with the family.
Watching the way that my parents kind of protected my brother, but then used me and some of my sisters, it was hard, and it's still hard to swallow. There's like one point where I call my dad out about it, and I just say, like, you treat me worse than you treat my brother, my pedophile brother.
That's got to be painful.
Yeah, it is.
In 2021, Josh was convicted of receiving child pornography and is now serving 12.5 years in prison. Derek attended court every day.
What was the kaleidoscope of emotions?
There was a lot of surprise, anger, just bewilderment and disbelief that people could believe that this didn't happen, because to me the evidence was so clear.
You, in the book, call Josh a monster. And say that you wanted him to be put away for a very long time. Do you feel like you'll ever reach out to your brother?
I have one time, just because I didn't know what to do. So I sent like a handmade Christmas card to him, but then it got sent back. I don't think I'm on his list.
In a statement to ABC News, Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar said, "We aim to deal honorably with our children, our finances, and our endeavors. While imperfect, it is our intent and desire to live a life that honors Christ. We do not believe the best way to resolve conflicts, facilitate forgiveness and reconciliation, or to communicate through difficulties is through the media or in a public forum, so we will not comment further." The couple say today the relationship with Jill's parents is still strained.
How often do you interact with your dad, especially, but with your family in general?
Like, I'll see my mom at sister get-togethers for brunch or birthdays, stuff like that. My dad's relationship's a little more complicated.
But is it fair to say you're estranged?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. There's like tension there that we recognize.
I think besides weddings and funerals, that was the only time that I'd seen him after Freddie was born in the last 5 years, probably.
Freddie, youngest of Jill and Derek's 3 boys, was born last year. The couple hopes to raise their family and live on their own terms.
I would definitely say that trying to disentangle what I've been taught growing up and everything, it's a journey, and you need to give yourself grace. Recognize that you can have those positive and negative experiences. They can coexist. You can have both.
Our thanks to Juju. Jill Duggar Dillard's book is out now.
Hi everyone, George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.